is um, about dietary changes in the winter. Did you change your clock? This morning I made a rookie mistake of my clock in my bedroom hasn't changed, but I was wide awake anyway. So I got up a whole hour earlier, but hey, I got loads done. Let's put it there. Anyone else done that? I mean, honestly, I should know by now, shouldn't we? We really should know by now. So I've got two people in the room. We've got Joe and Alison watching. Good morning to you. So I always think that when the clocks change, it's a really good time to change other things as well, because it is a significant. In the UK, we have significant seasonal changes, don't we? And the light nights make us eat differently to the dark nights. Forget the weather, because the weather can be the same the whole through the year, but the dark nights, is something about them, and the reason we feel more inclined to eat carb rich foods is because of these dark nights, and your serotonin levels are probably a little bit lower because you're not getting the light that we need. So if we continue with the same kind of habits and routine throughout the winter, it's likely that you might start craving sugars, craving carbohydrates, and mainly it's because of the light. So light's really, really important, and as in the morning the light is coming earlier. Okay, so we want to make sure that we get some light into our lives. But first of all, I'm just going to go through 5 things that you can change in terms of your eating. So put in the comments if you feel like in the summer you're more likely to eat more salads than in the winter. Put in the comments if you're more likely to have a lighter meal in the summer than in the winter. So, or do you feel like you eat the same throughout the whole year? I think that there is significant change anyway, and because mainly our kind of hunkering down, getting cozy for the winter kind of thing. So I'm thinking of things like, potatoes and crusty bread and all of those things. We start to think that that is the thing, but actually if you really take a conscious look at this, it doesn't have to be at all, and you can do it healthily anyway. So I'm going to go through that. So first of all, we want to get those vegetables into our life and want to continue. So throughout the summer, if you've been having lots of variety because of salad, we need to switch that into the winter vegetables, and we need to get into frozen. If you feel you can't get the fresh, go to frozen. So in my freezer, I've just stocked up. I've got Brussels sprouts, beans, broccoli, sweet corn, peas. So already there's 5 lots of different vegetables in there for me to go at if there isn't any fresh in my fridge. Also look at the seasonal vegetables. So the ones normally for the winter are the ones that are grown under the ground. Having said that, the brassicas also, the carciferous, sorry, that is the cauliflower and broccoli, they actually grow above, and they are normally sort of this winter time. Now I've got a farm shop literally in my village. It's fantastic, and they actually grow in the field here. So I go down there and I see what they've got out the field today. So at the moment it's leeks they've got out the ground, and they've got cauliflowers and cabbage. So try to think like seasonal, like our grandmas did. That's what you would have eaten. Okay, you wouldn't have had the summery type of vegetables, for instance, like the lettuce and the tomatoes. You wouldn't have had those. So let's look at it that way. Or you could continue with those, and obviously get the frozen variety. So then I'm thinking soups. I just absolutely love soups. What I do is do a big batch, and then I put them in bags, so in the zip bags, and then I squidge them flat so that they easily fit in my freezer. And then if I get one out, that's the soup for the day. So we had curried carrot soup yesterday, which I'd got out of the bag, defrosted throughout the morning, dead easy. So make them nice and nutritious, and think of variety. Remember, we're still going for 30 different vegetables a week, plant-based foods if you can. So plant-based foods includes spices, it includes herbs. So if you've got, they don't have to be fresh herbs. You could put dried thyme in there or whatever you like. So think about the variety. It also includes things like couscous, quinoa, because these are plant-based foods. that we want to try and keep into our life. So but soups are really nice, enhanced with the butter beans and things like that, which will give you more fiber and it will give you a bit more protein as well, plant-based protein. So then I'm going on to slow cooker. So slow cooker, I think, is easy. Get that out on the side. And there's so many, if you just Google slow cooker, there's so many people now just starting books. They're writing books just about slow cooker. And if you've got the air fryer, they're doing that as well. So try to get creative again and change the menus that you're having, but try to think less carbs. Okay. So think you can still get your protein and veg in the slow cooker, and there's no need to have loads of like heavy potatoes or bread with it, or pasta or rice with it. Do you know, try to think of everything's in that pot together. So if you go for things like parsnips, sweet potato and swedes and things, I'm thinking winter vegetables, and you put those in the slow cooker and make a lovely casserole in there with those as well. That's your carbs done. You don't need to add anything else. In fact, what you could add is some frozen peas or frozen green veg, just to add in another bit. But try to think of it that you don't have to have any like big heavy carbs with it, because it's almost a big meal in, well, it is a big meal in itself. So I think slow cooker is a winner. I don't know, what does your family think of slow cooked foods? Because a lot of families go, oh, here we go, we've got the casserole. But I love a casserole. Nice. So think of now of breakfast, because I'm thinking about the key meals here. So soup for lunch, we've got casseroles for dinner, and now let's go to breakfast. So breakfast is nice if you can get a warm breakfast now. If you feel like you're cozy, you're warm, you want something warm and quick. So porridge is my go-to, as you know. I have gone off having porridge. I've been going on to a little bit of sprinkled granola on fruit and yogurt, but now I'm going to switch back to porridge with my with my chia seeds and my flax seeds mixed in. You can also get frozen berries. Aldi really cheap in a bag. So I put the frozen berries in there. I add in dairy milk. I've gone back to dairy milk, and that goes in the microwave, and it all defrosts and it cooks all together. Dead easy. Maybe a banana on the top. And that's it done. So really nice, easy way to get a warm breakfast in there. You know, I'm a big fan of protein breakfast. So adding in the chia seeds and the flax seeds help to up the protein level of that porridge breakfast. The other one, obviously protein breakfast, is an easy one. Bacon, eggs, mushrooms, tomatoes, that kind of thing, without the bread, without the toast. Have it like this on its own. You could do an easy one, which I'm thinking now, I haven't had since last winter. So this is creating, I'm thinking the things that I can do tomorrow now. So in a jug, 2 eggs, some spinach, pepper and salt, like, you know, whisk it up and put it straight in the microwave. I think it was 2 minutes I used to do it for, and it's there like a little souffle that you can eat. And I like to eat it with, making my mouth water. Eat it with half an avocado. So you've got your good fats there with your avocado. Fiber in avocado is massive as well. You've got some spinach, which is brilliant for B vitamins, and you've got your eggs for your vitamin D and your massive protein in the eggs. And that should fill you up. We want things that are going to fill you up and keep those blood sugars level, because you're going to probably be already craving a bit of sugar because of the serotonin levels and because of the light issue thing. So what are you going to drink? So now, have you gone off the cold drinks? Let's go on to hot drinks, fruit teas. There's masses in the supermarkets now, fruit teas. Maybe you've got some in the back of the cupboard that you haven't used since last year. But I'm a big fan of just fresh ginger and squirt of lemon in hot water as a drink. Really nice, fresh, easy in the morning. Really nice to have in the morning. I'm still having my collagen powder, which that can go inside that as well, because it's completely flavorless. There's no flavor. And so that would really be a good way to get that in. Now, thinking about the vitamin D3, which is the thing that in the Northern Hemisphere, we should all be taking some kind of supplement, because we're not going to get it in our, obviously I've just been on holiday. 2 weeks worth of sun on your skin will only last 2 weeks when you get home. Yeah. So it's not like you store it for very long at all. So we need to make sure that we're getting vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is in eggs and green vegetables, oily fish, salmon, that kind of thing. But are you having that every day? Probably not. So here's my trusty, I'm still taking this. This is vitamin D. It's a better you product. I love it. And it has a K2 um, as the additional thing in it. So it's actually K2 because K2 helps to absorb it back into your body better. So in the morning, 2 sprays in the inside of my mouth. That's the vitamin D. Also, vitamin D is so good for mental health. If you're feeling anxious, depressed, sometimes the vitamin D can just change it. It's also amazing for aches in the joints and the bones. Again, incredible. That really does make a difference. Now, there's a few there are your dietary changes that I can obviously think about. Is there anything that you do that you change with your foods? Let me know. The bottom bit is about the well-being things. So, like I say, first thing in the morning, if you can get outside with the dog or whatever, the sun's out like it is today. Just look up at the sun. Don't put any sunscreen on for 20 minutes so that we get the light onto our skin and into our bodies. I mean, it would be ideal if we got our arms out. That's not probably going to happen. The other thing is don't put your sunglasses on because the sunglasses stop the pituitary gland knowing that wake-up call. It's like about your circadian rhythms here. We're changing our circadian rhythms because we've knocked ourselves out an hour for a start. It's like almost like jet lag, but very mild, obviously. Some people feel more tired at this time of year. So we've really got to be aware of that because the dark nights, when you get outside, look up at the sun for at least 20 minutes before putting your sunglasses on, if you can. I mean, obviously don't look completely at the sun, but get yourself exposed to that light so it wakes you up. It will definitely wake you up. And it also gives you a better night's sleep on the day because it'll set your circadian rhythms going properly and then you'll sleep better at night. Your melatonin will drop in at the right time. Maybe get a good coat and some good boots. Maybe you need to invest in that because every day, go outside for a walk and just get out there. I absolutely love this time of year. I think this is the best time of year for walking. I mean, I walk every day anyway, but you can see the seasonal changes and it's beautiful, especially I've been going out around 5 in the afternoon and it's just like the sun is dropping, but now it's obviously going to be 4 o'clock that I need to do that with the dog. But oh my gosh, the light level's just amazing and it makes you really feel like a mindful walk. Maybe you want to do online classes in the evening. So if you've got my online program, you've got them there. Make us a nice little cozy spot for yourself in the house. If you've got a spare bedroom or somewhere that you can lay your mat out, like I have in this room. It's a nice little studio room. I just get some candles, make a real sort of effort to go, right, this is my time. I've got this time where it's like dark from 4 till 7. I'd never, what are you doing at that time? Are you eating? Are you sleeping? Are you down? What are you doing? So maybe make it more like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do through the winter now. When I've got that little period of time, I'm going to take one session of exercise and do it, whatever it could be. So it could be Pilates. Pilates is nice to do in the evening because it'll make you more drowsy and sleepy. And now yoga's coming into the program as well. You can do my yin yoga sessions, which they are perfect for the evening. And you need, make that surroundings lovely. So the candlelight. Make sure that when you're lying down in your studio, that the lights aren't blaring into your face. Get a lamp in the room instead and some candles and create some nice smells in there. Get some essential oils going and one of those vaporizers, can't remember what you call them. But maybe that's a way that you can change the season. We've got, let's look positive towards the winter because many people hate the winter, but I'm always positive about most things, to be fair. I can always see the positive in things. Now, let's have a look at your comments. Margaret's saying she uses this slow cooker quite a lot, especially in the winter. And she's got one in France as well. Perfect. I think they are really good. Definitely colder food in hot weather, but veg is fresher and more appealing in the summer. Yeah, correct. But you know what? The frozen veg, the nutrients in them are just, better, can be better in many ways. Because if you're buying your vegetables from the supermarket, they've been sitting in a warehouse for a long time, and then transported from A to B and B to C and, get them home. You put them in your fridge for how long? So if you get down the aisles, I do actually, I mean, I'm an Aldi shopper, so they've got a really good range in there, but I'll go to somewhere like Sainsbury's where they've got even more of a range. So there's got like all sorts of like roasted vegetables in a frozen bag, and they're ready to just go into the oven. There's some really lovely creative ones there. You can buy chopped up sweet potato and pumpkin and all that kind of thing. You can buy bags of fruit ready to go in your liquidizer to make a smoothie. Maybe that's where the way you want to go. Add chia seed, add flaxseed. Maybe that's going to be your treat instead of having biscuits and chocolate and all cozy like wintry foods like that. Maybe this is where you want to go with it. Lovely. Okay. Let's just go there. So, any more comments on lifestyle changes for the winter? We are now going to get on with